they removed the Super from Wild Card Weekend this year, and with good reason. These games weren't very interesting besides from one. Maybe NFL stands for Nostradamus Football League. Let's get to these normal card weekend games. I'm going to be a bit of a broken record today. This game started out pretty competitive with both defenses holding and not too much scoring being done. But the second half, the dirty bubble took Jim Harbaugh. After that, the Texans would outscore the Chargers 32-6. Justin Herbert was giving the ball away, throwing 4 interceptions on the day, and not even a nice touchdown by Ladd McConkey could save this one. Joe Mixon took control of the game, earning the coveted MVP trophy, going down in history with the likes of Mitch Trubisky and Jameis Winston. This is a bit of an upset. Who would have guessed that the Texans would come out swinging and dominate this Chargers team? Chargers gonna Charger though. Should have known. Hey George, are you gonna have an offense in the first half?
Nah.
Is your defense going to stop Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry?
Nah.
Do you think Russell Wilson is going to be on the team next year?
Nah.
Well, do you think Justin Fields would have done a better job?
Nah.
People are saying you're a drama queen. Is that true?
Nah.
Will Mr. Watt get any sacks today?
Nah.
You got a touchdown in this one. Do you think either team will score again in the fourth quarter?
Nah.
I guess the Ravens didn't really need to. Do you have any respect for your head coach, Mike Tomlin?
Nah.
Damn, so are you going to stay with the team?
Nah.
Is all you can say, nah?
Nah.
Okay, George. This game started out pretty competitive. The Broncos had a big bomb to Franklin, not the turtle, for a touchdown. The Bills played this game a bit differently than we all thought they would, giving the ball to Cook all throughout. He would get a touchdown in the second quarter. The Broncos, they converted a fake punt, which led to nothing. The second half started for the Bills, but the Broncos, they decided not to show up. The rest of the points would go to the Bills, and much like that fan who failed to break a table, the Broncos are going to go home embarrassed and in a bit of pain. They do have a bright future ahead of them, but this was a no-show for what could have been a spicy team. The Eagles did not need to play a consistent game of football for this one. The Packers were enough of a roadblock all on their own. Multiple interceptions and a few killer injuries sunk the SS Cheddar Cheese down to the deep. This wasn't even the best Hurts or Barkley game. They just played decently enough to win. A.J. Brown was seen reading a book on the sidelines. I think it was Chicken Soup for the Soul. He'll probably come out swinging next week if he only gets one reception again. Now, this is a football game. High stakes and a high-intensity bout. Butterfinger Bucks, they would be back this week, dropping passes and losing the football. This one started a bit slow, but the Commanders would be the first to score a touchdown. Then, at the end of the second quarter, Baker would sling one to Mike Evans. Bucky Irving would get a short pass from Baker in the third, and the fourth quarter would come around, and Scary Terry would come out for a touchdown. The Buccaneers would tie it up with a field goal, and then mismanage the clock. And the ball! Baker! No! Zane Gonzalez, looking nervous as all hell on the sideline, lines up for the game-winning field goal. He hits the upright, but it goes in. Commanders win! The Rams aren't just playing for a spot in the Divisional Round. They are playing for all those affected by the LA fires. The heroes fighting the blaze, the families displaced, and the land lost. This game felt bigger than them, and they knew it. Sam Darnold, aka Dirty Diaper Darnold, shit the bed so hard that you might want to take a few zeros off his next contract. January football matters more than any other game. Sure, he led them to a 14-4 season, but losing to the Lions last week in embarrassing fashion, and now this, it doesn't look too good. The Rams had a total domination throughout the entire match. Their win was never in question. I'm sure a QB-hungry team will take on Darnold next season. Probably the Raiders. The divisional round is set in stone. On the AFC side, we got the Chiefs facing off against the Texans, and the Ravens taking on the Bills. On the NFC sideline, it's the Lions versus the Commanders, and the Rams taking on the Eagles. This will probably be the best week of football for a few different reasons. Any one of these games could be a major upset, a close matchup, anything. Ravens versus Bills definitely is the biggest of the matchups here. Both teams hungry for a Super Bowl win, or just a Super Bowl appearance in general. Both teams also have a MVP caliber quarterback. I'm putting my Monopoly money on the Ravens this time around. The Texans and Chiefs will square off in the divisional round rematch. Last time they met, it didn't go too well for the Texans, but we'll see what happens this time around. I am picking the Chiefs, though. The Lions going against the Commanders should be a great game. I've been rooting for the Lions for the last couple years now, and I'm betting they'll beat the Commies this week. Finally, the Rams going against the Eagles. This should be a pretty interesting affair. The Eagles will need to utilize all their weapons to take on this feisty Rams team, who will still be rallying for the people of LA. I am smelling an upset here. I'm going to take the Rams over the Eagles. See you next week.